giving us a speech that he is given already here once at the club contest and won that. He'll be giving it next week, next Wednesday night at the Bread House. Not sure where that is. If you'd like to tell us that, go ahead.
It's at 1518 South Washington. It's a mile or two south of here on Washington.
Okay, south of 496. Okay, very good. So if you're in the area and you'd like to, it's the Area 7 speech contest, and he asks that you evaluate his speech so that he can improve it prior to next week's speech and make it the best possible. His speech is entitled Coach Ross. Please help me welcome Greg Geiger.
Thanks to Coach Ross, I learned that words can sometimes change a person's attitude on their life. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Growing up, my dream was to play high school baseball. And from an early age, I played Little League. I wasn't very strong, but I had some good defensive skills, and I made a few all-star teams. But then I went into homeschool, and I kind of lost track of my friends and quit playing baseball. But the motivation was always there to go back to public school and play baseball. Now, it wasn't until 11th grade that I went back to public school. And in February, I strode into the gym for baseball tryouts. Coach Ross was there, 38-year-old, very muscular, mustache, and he watched us all as we did our tryouts. And I did some push-ups, I did some pull-ups, and some running. And I wasn't very strong back then. I know it's hard to believe that I wasn't strong. Just go with it, though. Just go with it. And at the end of tryouts, Coach Ross called to me, "Geikema, I'd like to see you in my office." So I went to Coach Ross's office behind the gym. He said, "Greg, I'm afraid your numbers and your muscles aren't strong enough on some of these tryouts. And you'd probably be better off on the track team." So I was very disappointed I hadn't made the team. And for about a week or two, I contemplated giving up on my dream. But then I thought, I've got a year left. I can get bigger, stronger, faster. So I took the next year and I beefed up. I gained 7 pounds. I came in the senior year 142 pounds. And I strode into that gym, and Coach Ross was there again. Same expression. He didn't give away what he was thinking. But I did the push-ups, I did the pull-ups. Not many more than the year before, but a few more. Same thing, at the end of the tryout, Coach Ross said, "Geikema, I want to see you in my office." And I knew that I had not made the team again. And it was a horrible feeling, but I went into Coach Ross's office. He looked at me and said, "Greg, I'm shocked that you came back after last year. I never thought you'd come back after getting cut." And then he said, but Greg, I'm impressed that you came back, so I think we've got a spot for you. If you don't mind playing in blowouts or in non-league games, I think I got a spot for you." And I said, "Yes, that's all. I just want to play. That's great." Now, once I had reached the dream, I didn't cultivate it, because the first game we played Sparta, and I struck out twice, once with the bases loaded. I began to think, Coach Ross just let me on the team because he felt sorry for me. He said, "I'm only going to play in blowouts." The words were going through my head of what he had said. It got worse. The next practice, the team was making errors, and every time they'd make an error, Coach Ross would send them to run a lap around the huge ball field. And I was in left field, and the ball was hit to me, and the sun was in my eyes, and I couldn't see it, and it hit me and smacked me right in the eye, and my glasses broke on the field. And the players ran over and said, "Greg, are you all right?" And the pain was terrible, but not as bad as the embarrassment of knowing that I didn't deserve to be on this team. And now I was getting people hurt myself. And the players leaned in, and Coach Ross said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Coach Ross, do I have to run 2 laps for that?" And you know what? Everyone laughed and ran back to their spots. But Coach Ross stayed behind, put his arm on my shoulder, and smiled and said, "Greg, you just earned a lot of respect there with the guys." He said, "Go home, you don't have to run laps." So that alone was huge to me. From you can play in blowouts. Now all of a sudden he was rooting for me. I could tell it wasn't about baseball. It was about life, about fitting in. And a lot of people will say life is 80% mental. I believe that's correct, because my next game, I had the breakout game. We were losing 13-0 to Morley Stanwood. True to his word of me playing in blowouts, Coach Ross called my name from the bench, "Gaikama, out to right field." So I took my glove and went out to right field. As bad luck would have it, the girls' softball team next door had just gotten done, so all the girls I like are now going to come watch me make a fool of myself. But no one ever hits the ball to right field. That's where they hide the weak fielder, except for the third batter of the inning, who squarely hit the ball right to me. And I'm clumsily saying, "Oh, please catch it." And the ball lands in my glove, and I go off like I had it all the way. And so I still got a bat. I look back to see if the girls are still there. They're still there. So the first pitch, strike 1. Second pitch, strike 2. I know I'm going to strike out. I've seen the pros on TV look cool, tapping the bat on their feet, so if I'm going to strike out, it might as well look cool. But a funny thing happened. When the pitch was coming, a voice in my head said, "You're swinging too early." So I held up and hit the ball to left field, a base hit. And I had a base hit above my dreams. Now I have gone above, and I attribute it to Coach Ross's words. Coach Ross passed away in 1997 in a motorcycle accident, and my parents saved this poster, which I still have because I'm so glad he let me live my dream. What I take from this story is that words do matter. I was on the lowest of low, I was going to quit the team, and then I had my base hit the next day after his words. So what I would tell you is, if it's a Toastmaster club, it's your friend, your spouse, your children, if they're feeling low, bring them back up. Give them a kind word, say, "You can do it, and I'm rooting for you," and they may just end up like I did and get their dream of playing high school baseball. Thank you very much.
Let's take a minute to evaluate Greg's speech, and then we'll come back to the evaluation a little bit later in the evaluation portion of our meeting.